Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be talking about Joe Biden and his reelectability and see if he can win in 2024. This I think he has a very good chance I think in winning in 2024, especially against Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump would honestly be one of the most easiest candidates to beat in 2024. But let's get into it. And yeah, and I'll talk more about it later. So, safe states for Donald Trump: Montana, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, but the first district will go to Joe Biden. Um, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, and Maine's second district. Now, safe states for Joe Biden: Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, Illinois, Virginia, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York, and Maine and its first district, and Hawaii. So these are the states that I think will be over 10 points. So these states are pretty guaranteed to go to Biden and Trump, and it's not it's very unlikely that either of them will win. Lose or win. Lose the states here. So these are ones that we can kind of guarantee. The other ones are under 10 points. Some of them are more. Oops, I forgot. Trump would win South Carolina, but some of these are closer than others. But yeah, before I get started, I think Joe Biden is easily favored right now. Biden, he doesn't have a high approval rating, but it is not terrible. It is in the what is it? Like early 40s, and Trump's approval rating is way lower than Trump's, and he's also got arrested, and it has like 34 criminal charges. And Trump's just a mess. He's just doing wild things, crazy things, doing nonsensical things, and people just see Biden as a more sensical answer. And in my hot take, I do think Biden will do better than he did in 2020, just because he is the incumbent this time around, and Trump has just made himself more crazy, and really, it's just a madman. Sorry, it's just a madman at this point. But yeah, but let's get into the states. Let's start with my home state of Minnesota. So first, Minnesota, likely 6 points. Biden's going to do pretty well in the suburbs, especially in the southern lower, like southern parts of the state. He's going to do well in the suburbs over there. The pretty good turnout in the Twin Cities, and Minnesota is a pretty liberal state in general. Usually going to Democrats. It's gone to a Democrat ever since 1972, sorry, to Richard Nixon, and that was a landslide for Nixon, so it wasn't even that shocking. So yeah, Minnesota, pretty safe, good state for Biden. Not a lot to say here. Iowa, Trump. This is a Trump state. No Democrat has won this since 2012, and that was in the Obama ages. I think it would be kind of closer, maybe, because Trump is getting unpopular, and Biden, I think, would do well more with the working class. Um, but yeah, it's just Iowa, so it's not being too competitive. Now let's go to Ohio. Ohio, I think, would go to Donald Trump by a likely margin. He has a good base here and could get his base to turn out. And Rust Belt voters, I think Biden's going to do well for Rust Belt voters. So I do think Trump is going to win Ohio less than 8 points. But I do still think that Ohio is a pretty Republican state, and Trump is still going to win it no matter what. So really, it's going to go to Trump. Biden, it's the best case for Biden is like 4 points, 5 points Trump, and that's like a really good case. Biden's probably not going to win this, but I would say 7 points Trump as of now. Next, New Mexico. Let's just do New Mexico. Likely margin. It's just Colorado, but a little more competitive. I still want to put in safe margin because I think it'll be 9 points, or it'll probably be safe margin though. But just be safe, I'm gonna do a 9 point margin for Joe Biden for now. But yeah, not a lot to say for there. Next, Florida. Florida is a pretty Republican state in 2022. Republicans won in huge landslides. It's just a red wave year in Florida, really. It was just actually a pretty big red wave. So, and Trump's going to do well. Biden's kind of Democrats is most not. Well, I would say basically majority. I feel like Democrats are losing the Hispanic vote, but in Florida, it's the most prevalent. So Biden's not going to get a lot of minority turnout in Florida, and Trump is might win some of them over. But yeah, a lot of old people, and it's Florida, so likely margin maybe like 9 points Trump. Next is Texas. Texas, I'll put in a lean margin. This is a more. I think Texas is a pretty traditional state, but with more young people moving there and the minority vote becoming more present in every election, I do think it'll have to be in the lean margin. Probably 5 points Trump. In 2022, it did go to Greg Abbott by like 10 points, so it is a pretty Republican state. But on the national level, I don't think Donald Trump would be popular enough. But it is Texas, so it is a pretty Republican state, so I will have to put it at lean. And now the following states, these are the most competitive ones. These are the ones that are going to be thin razor margins, in my opinion. Um, and I think they're going to be pretty close, and I'll get into that. First, I want to start in Wisconsin. I want to say for Wisconsin, it's going to apply a lot with Michigan and Pennsylvania. So first, Wisconsin, give to Biden by a lean margin. Probably, in my opinion, going to win more by a point. I do think that Biden is going to do pretty well in the Rust Belt. I think he's going to do well in the suburbs of Wisconsin in Kenosha, better than last time, and do well in Wisconsin overall. Just not too long ago, like a week or two ago, the Democrats won a Supreme Court seat by 10 points. So that was a really good win for Democrats, and it does show that Biden could have a chance. I do think that he's going to do well with Rust Belt voters overall and suburban voters. And in rural areas, he's not going to do terrible, but I do think he's going to be able to pull off a Wisconsin win. And next is Michigan. Michigan, same thing here, lean margin, but this one's going to be a kind of bigger margin, like maybe like 5 or 4 points for Biden. Michigan is, in my opinion, the most liberal state for in the Rust Belt. It mostly on economics and social issues, both just really liberal. And also Biden is going to do well in the suburbs here, do well with the working class, and do well. Sorry, I forgot I stuttered there. But just do well overall, in my opinion. And Christian Wimmer did win Michigan by like 11 points in 2022, so that was a pretty good win. So it does show that Biden could easily hold on. But yeah, next Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I think could be another easy win, especially against Donald Trump. I feel like this election, Donald Trump might be a little more disconnected with Rust Belt voters, independent Rust Belt voters. Obviously, not with his Rust Belt voters that are his big base. A lot of independent Rust Belt voters, I think he's going to lose after all of his criminal charges, his low approvals, and just overall just stupid things he says all the time. So that applies for all three of these states. I feel like Biden has been more of a. I think Biden has been more of a like a leader. Yeah, leader. I mean, he's done like more for working class, and he has a lot of good things to campaign on. So I do think that would do well overall. But in Pennsylvania, Biden's going to do well in the suburbs again. As I said again, he's going to do well, in my opinion, in Scranton and Erie. I do think he's going to overperform in those areas as he did. I mean, overperform his 2020 margins. I don't know by how big, but I do think he will. But I will have to say 2 points Biden right now. At Pennsylvania and Trump, it doesn't look really good. Fetterman won by 5 points, and Shapiro won by like 14. So this is a pretty good state for Democrats also. And right now, Biden, okay, well, in my prediction, this was expected, but Biden right now would have the gain. So my prediction does have Biden winning. I would be surprised if somebody's actually watching this part. comment Walter Mondale puppet if you are actually watching this. I don't know what I'm saying. Just looking at random stuff in my room. So yeah, comment Walter Mondale puppet if you're seeing this. But yeah. So next we're gonna go to the deep south, and we're gonna look at North Carolina. North Carolina. This might be a little hot take, but as of now, I don't know if this will happen on the final election day. But if the election was held today, and in my hot take, I do think Biden will win North Carolina by a tilt margin. And here's why. I know North Carolina, it is a pretty what's the word? Traditional Republican state, and Trump did win it. Last time Trump won it by 1 point, and overall I do think Biden's going to overperform his 2020 margins than this time around, especially against Trump. I feel like Trump. I think Biden, if he could connect with a minority vote, and get high turnout, he could definitely win this. And if he does well, think about North Carolina. It's a very diverse group of voters. There are the like suburban white women, and the black rural voters, and the urban voters. It's just like a very diverse voter coalition. So I do think Biden could win this. So if he does play his keys right, I do think he can win North Carolina, but he will have to do well there. And also, North Carolina has been trending to the left in general. But Biden, minority vote, suburban vote, and the white vote. The white vote in North Carolina is actually pretty moderate, in my opinion, overall. And the vote in North Carolina is pretty moderate overall, too. So I do think Biden could barely win this. This would probably be one of the closest states, in my opinion, maybe the closest state. But that is probably my hot take. I did have this in my Mike Pence versus video, but I do think Biden will win more against Mike Pence. But yeah, I'll put that video in the description. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I wouldn't have to say Biden would win North Carolina by a tilt margin. Might be a hot take, but it's not that hot of a take when you think about it, especially with Donald Trump against him. Next, we have Georgia. Georgia really just has to be a lean margin. Georgia has seen significant trends to the left. In 2022, Ralph Warnock won by 0.9 points, and then I believe 2 points in the runoff. I forgot. So this is a pretty Democratic state, and Democrats did very well in the state of Georgia. The trends in the suburbs, especially the suburbs, have really just helped Democrats like everywhere on the map. I know I'm saying suburban vote this, suburban vote that, but it really has helped them. There's been huge, especially Georgia might be one of the most beneficial ones. So Biden just won, made the suburbs go huge trends, and especially in Georgia. So I do think that would do that, and the minority vote too. Biden minority vote again. Same with North Carolina. If he plays his keys right, he can really get the minority vote to get high turnout. Georgia does have higher minority turnout than North Carolina. That could be a reason why it is more to the left. But yeah, I would have to say that Biden would win in Georgia by a lean margin. I don't think that's a really hot take, and I do think a lot of people agree with me on that one. And now next we have I forgot about Alaska. Alaska, I don't know about ranked choice voting and stuff. I don't know how that affected. So I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna put that safe for Trump because it probably will. So right now Biden does have 302 electoral votes. Not very shocking, if I do have to say so myself. But now Arizona and Nevada. Arizona definitely would go to Joe Biden. I would say by a lean margin. Mark Kelly won this by 6 points in 2022. And you've seen like a lot of moderate Republican voters and moderate independent voters that were pretty consistently voting for the Republican Party. Recently switched to the Democratic Party more because if Biden has a more moderate rhetoric this campaign, he could do pretty well in Arizona and get pretty good numbers there. But also like a lot of the youth vote and the Hispanic vote in Arizona will help him. And Donald Trump, I know it sounds like, what's the word? I don't know what it sounds like, but it is a John McCain state. It's like John McCain. It's like people that have the mindset and admire John McCain voters. it's not like, I'm not saying that in a cringy way, like the people that support John McCain stand against Donald Trump, but they do like John McCain. Obviously, they're like it's like their hero basically. So you know, it's like those voters, they're not gonna like Trump, and especially with the criminal charges, Arizona's not gonna go to Donald Trump, especially this year. So last but not least, the state of Nevada. I will have to put this in the lean margin. I do think Biden's going to do well in the Las Vegas suburbs, and I feel like Trump's not going to get a lot of turnout in the northern parts of Nevada. And Biden's going to do well with the Hispanic vote here too. Catherine freaking Cortez Masto won this by almost a point against Adam freaking Laxalt. So I do think it's safe to say this could be a lean margin. Also, I think I'm pretty sure they adapted ranked choice voting, so that could really just help Biden a lot. But again, I'm not really sure. I honestly don't remember. A lot of stuff has happened, but yeah, overall, I do think Biden will be able to win it, and he could get a good turnout in the urban areas. So this is my prediction. Joe Biden, I think, would win 319 electoral votes, and I do believe that is outperforming. Yeah, I think that's better than his 2020 performance. I think overall he's going to outperform 2020 performance. I feel like I haven't said this, but I do think Biden's going to get high turnout in urban areas with young voters especially. I forgot to say that, but I do think he will, and I do think that will help him against Donald Trump. But yeah, overall, Biden's going to do well with suburban voters, minority voter turnout, hopefully. Um, the youth vote, urban areas. He's going to do well with Rust Belt voters, and just like basically a lot of good groups. And while Trump is going to lose a lot of support from more independents, um, due to his criminal charges and more. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not, please like and share the video. And please comment. I love when people comment. It makes my day when people comment because I have nothing else to do. So please comment what you think. I think I will get a lot of hate comments from MAGA boomers in the comments. What am I just saying? But yeah. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.